Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be continuing doing our Halloween gnome from Magimuse. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are going to finish off this really cute Halloween gnome. It's fairly large, so it's hard to fit in frame, but I'm gonna make do. Today we're going to finish all the accessories. We have to do the gnome nose, the gnome hand ×2, gnome beard, the long beard ×4, and short beard ×2, and then we have the gnome belt and the gnome broom. Okay. So let me see what the gnome nose has in store for us today. So for round 1, we're going to do the magic ring, chain 1, 6 crochet stitches, slip stitch, and end up with 6 stitch using the beige yarn. So this is the beige yarn. In my opinion, I wish they put the color of the that you start off with here, or the list of yarn colors here or above here. It's quite annoying when you have to look for the round instructions to see that. But anyway, we're going to use the beige yarn, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the magic ring. I'm going to set this little guy aside, and I'm going to pull out my crochet hook. It's a 3mm crochet hook, and if you have not seen the previous videos, go ahead and do that. I'll leave it in the playlist at the end of this video. If you'd like me to do this in lefty, please comment below and I'll do that video for you. Also, if you need to speed up or slow down the video, click on the gear button. It should be at the corner of the screen. There's a playback option, and you can change the numbers on there to go faster or slower. If you don't need to hear me speak, you can always click on the closed caption box and lower the volume on your phone. Okay, so let's get this started. I'm going to grab a little bit of yarn here. We're going to wrap it around once, twice, and you want to have a little bit sticking out like that, because we're going to take our middle finger and we're going to close down on it to hold it in place. Then we're going to turn palm side up, because next we're going to stick our hook underneath each strand. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to pull this back out, and I'm going to drag this strand under these two. So go ahead and do that. You can twist your hook sideways a little bit to get it under those two strands. And once you're under on the other side, we're going to do a yarn over. So put your hook about here. We're going to take this yarn and we're going to put it over the hook like this. And now we can drag this strand through this loop. So do that. Again, you can twist the hook sideways to get it under through the loop. And now we have a closed magic ring. You can slip this off your finger. Okay. Then I'm going to go gather up some yarn here around my finger. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I usually pull it from the inside. Oh, and it's so easy to pull out. So you guys, I'm going to repeat it anyway for you in case I went too fast the first time. When you get a little spool of yarn like this, you want to try getting the inside. This luckily happened to be sticking out. Most of the time I have to like stick my finger in there and just grab a chunk. Like a chunk will come out. Sometimes a lot will come out. Don't panic. You just got to find the end, and then eventually, you know, you'll use up the yarn to where it'll just pull out from the center like this, and it'll not roll around. I can't leave it this way. This is going to bother me because as I pull, it's gonna roll around. So let me show you how to do that again. And trust me, if you can do that with your spools when you're doing it, your life will be so much easier compared to chasing your spool around. See, I pulled it out. That big wad is now out there. I'm going to do this again. Alright, so you need some yarn here. We're going to wrap this around once, twice with a little bit of overage so that we can take our middle finger and close it down like this. Palm side up. I'm going to take our hook and slip it under these 3 strands, and then I'm going to pull the hook back out, but I'm going to take this strand and drag it under these 2. So catch it with the hook and start pulling. You can twist your hook to the side to get it under those 2. Out to the other side. Once you've done that, we're going to yarn over, so push your hook a little out so you have some room. We're going to take this strand and put it over the hook like that, and now we're going to pull this strand through this loop. So go ahead and do that. Turn the hook sideways to get under the loop, and now we've closed our magic ring. So now you can remove this off your finger, and we can start our next steps, which is a chain 1. So let's gather up some yarn here, and like I said, you can pull your yarn like that. I mean, that will happen. This is a light spool. You can just put a little weight on there and it'll pull it out like that. You don't have to see it roll around. But anyway, let me gather up all this yarn. I probably don't need all of this, but it's out there, so I'm going to use it. Okay, so we have to chain 1, and what we're going to do is yarn over like this, and then we're going to pull this through the loop like that. So we have our chain 1. Now we have to do 6 single crochet stitches. So let me show you how to do that. Stick your hook into the magic ring. You want to yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. So we have 1 single crochet stitch and then our chain stitch. Now again, stick your hook into the magic ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches and a chain stitch. Okay, so stick your hook into the magic ring again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we have 1, 2, 3 single crochet stitches, a chain stitch, and now I'm going to just do 3 more for you guys. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now here is our magic ring. A magic ring magically closes this large loop. So let's do that. So what we're going to do, you can let go of your yarn. Okay. Now, I'm going to overhand my hook. What I want to do is take my thumb and index or middle finger, whichever is comfortable for you. You want to gently pinch the lower end here, right about here. Not too tight because we're going to start pulling this stuff. Okay, so now you want to take the excess piece. Just hold it here. Now let's take a look at the loops. This is the top loop or the front loop. This is the back loop. Now it may look different to you, but just indicate each one so that you give it a name so that you can differentiate it. But what we're going to do, we're going to pull this out very slowly. We want to see which one goes in first. Is it the front loop or the back loop? Okay, so start pulling and then carefully watch each loop and pull slowly, and once you start seeing a loop disappear, that's the one that you're going to use. So stop once you see it moving. The back one was moving, so what you're going to do is we're going to pull this side out, not the top here, the bottom one. So take the back loop, or whichever. For me it's the back loop, for you it could be the front loop, for others it could be the same back loop. So whichever one you saw move, pull out the lower end, and then you're going to see the other loop disappear. So keep pulling out the lower end until you see the other loop disappear. So you see how it's going in, closing up that loop. Just gently pull until that hole is either non-existent or very tiny, because now we're going to take this end and we're going to pull that one until, in my case, the back loop, for you it could be the front loop, disappears. So pull it, make this one go out of the way. I don't want it to get caught in there, but keep pulling till that disappears. Pulling, pulling, you know, make it snug, not too tight. And you see the hole now is gone. So what we're going to do, we're going to count back 6 stitches and we're going to do a slip stitch to close off this round. I'm going to go get my marker that came with the kit right here. You can use any color, whatever's different from the project you're working on. And that's a general statement so that you can easily pick it out. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to gather up some yarn here. I'm going to count back 6 stitches from my hook. So, not the loop on the hook, but the stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is our chain. See how it's now vertical and everything else is horizontal? This is going to make the height of the round. We're going to put our hook into both front and back loops of the 6 stitch, just like that. And we're going to yarn over. This is a slip stitch, yarn over, and pull it through all loops, just like this. And now we've completed the slip stitch. What you want to do is slip the stitch marker into or underneath the front and back loops of the last stitch you just made, and close the marker. Okay, these are new, so I gotta actually put some effort. Some of them are flimsy, so you don't take much effort to close them. But yeah, you can get a lot of these in a hobby store or craft store or like online, and they're fairly cheap. I would recommend getting a box of these, because when you get a larger project, if you're the type that needs to mark off where you did your last stitch so that you can count the rounds you're on, so you don't forget, then I would highly recommend getting these. Okay, so now that we've completed round 1, we're going to go to round 2. And for round 2, it says chain 1. Oh, wrong one. This one up here. For round 2, we're going to chain 1 and do a single crochet stitch, an increasing stitch 3 times, a slip stitch, and end up with 9 stitches. Okay, so let's do the height. So yarn over, we're going to chain 1 like that. Now we're going to do a single crochet stitch. So you want to stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to do an increasing stitch. So an increasing stitch is very simple. We're going to take the next stitch and we're going to put 2 single crochet stitches in there. So what you do, stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now go into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have 2 single crochet stitches in that 1 stitch. So now we just have to repeat the brackets 2 more times. So into the next stitch, we're going to do a single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we're going to do an increasing stitch. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we just have to repeat this 1 more time. So into the next stitch, single crochet stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now into the last stitch with the marker, you can either remove it before or remove it after. I remove it after. Put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do an increasing stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now I'm going to remove this marker. Now, like I said, if you're the type that needs these markers to remind you which round you're on, then I would leave it in. You could always put more markers on top if you have them. If you don't, you're going to have to remove them and reuse them. So for me, I'm going to remove it. I usually only leave it on if I'm doing the same stitches for multiple rows. Okay. So let's count back 9 stitches and we're going to do a slip stitch. So from the hook, not the one on the hook, just the stitch. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here's the chain stitch. Stick your hook into the 9 stitch front and back loops, yarn over, pull through all loops for a slip stitch, and then we're going to slip our marker under front and back loops of the last stitch we made, and we've completed round 2. So let's go to round 3. Chain 1, 9 single crochet stitches, a slip stitch, and end up with 9 stitches. So that's simple enough. Let's gather up more yarn. I like to have a lot of yarn on my finger because I hate having to draw it. And that's just how I do it. You can do it the proper way, which I don't really know. I mean, I probably did once upon a time, but I hated it. So, because I remember when my aunt was teaching me, she's like, why do you do that? I'm like, I don't know, I just like it better. But anyway, so we're going to yarn over and chain 1. Then we're going to do 9 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I'm going to remove the marker. These things are really legit. I gotta break those in or something. Okay, let's count back 9 and do a slip stitch. So from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here's the chain stitch. Stick your hook into the 9th stitch, yarn over, pull through all loops, and then put your marker under the loops of the last stitch, and we can move on. You see now how this is forming a basket? This is curling in. We want to invert this so that the right side faces out. And you can tell because here's the excess yarn. You want to hide this. So all you have to do is invert it. So flip it inside out. It'll always do that on you at some point, so it has to be done for any project. And we're just going to stuff this inside here. Get it out of the way. Try not to crochet it to your stitching. But anyway, so here it is, and you can tell that it's the right way because the rounds are very definitive. You see how it's nice and separated? On the other side, it's very not definitive. Okay, so let's go to the next round. Round 4, we have to chain 1, do a single crochet stitch, a decreasing stitch 3 times, and do a slip stitch to end up with 6. Ooh, yeah, the nose is tiny, so let's work this. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet stitch in the next stitch, like that. Now a decreasing stitch, all it is taking 2 stitches, as you see here. Here's 1, here's 2. We're going to turn it into 1 stitch, so I'll show you how to do that. So into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now put your hook into the next stitch over, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to pull it through all 3 loops. So you see what we did there? We stuck the hook into 2 stitches and we only ended up with 1. So we just have to repeat this bracket 2 more times. So into the next stitch, single crochet, and then we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So into the next stitch, stick in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And then we're going to repeat this bracket 1 more time. So single crochet stitch, and then we're going to do the decreasing stitch. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next and the last stitch with the marker, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So I'm going to remove this marker, and I'm going to count back 6 stitches from the hook, and we inverted it so you're going to see in a different perspective now. So here's the hook, here's the loop. Don't count this one, we want to start counting the stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here's the chain stitch. We're going to stick it into the 6th stitch, and it's tiny, so try to work it out. Just the front and back loops. Don't try to catch anything else, any stitch or excess yarn that's in there. And we're going to do a slip stitch. So yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, all the loops, sorry. And we fasten, well, we have to fasten it off, I believe. So, oh, this is terrible. I forgot. Stuff enough with filling. This is going to be fun. So we're going to fasten it off first. It's already, this is the hole. I should have maybe read ahead, but you know what? This is small enough to where we can either use our finger or our hook to put the stuffing. So I'm going to fasten this off. Try to leave a good amount of yarn because we're going to connect it to the body. Okay, so I'm going to grab my scissor here. Okay, then to fasten off, all it is we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull it through the loop, but we're going to pull it all the way out. So keep pulling till the yarn's all the way through. And then we're going to go ahead and pull on it to tighten up this loop. So pull it and tighten it up. So now grab your stuffing. And here is my stuffing. You just need enough to fill in here. Again, you can maybe use the end of this or your finger. So I'm going to try to just use my fingers for now and see if I get anywhere. You know, your finger might be too big or whatever. I might have taken a lot of stuffing, to be honest, but we'll see. Because this stuff is very fluffy. So I did put a little too much, so you can always rip off. And I probably just pulled out more. Just stick it back in. And try to get it to where you dig in there all the fiber, because when we sew it, you don't want to accidentally snag your stuffing. You want it to disappear inside the cavity of whatever body part you're using. Okay, so now that is done. Put this back in here in the baggie. Okay, so now I am going to take the needle that came in the box. And sometimes I use the hook, but this just seems like a very tiny body part, so I don't want to try weaving it in and out with a larger hook when the needle is a lot skinnier. So just pull it through. You don't have to tie it, just make sure it doesn't, you don't pull it through or it doesn't get through. So now what we have to do is, I like to pick out a good side. Like this, there's a little something going on here. You can always rebend this to look right. So I'm just going to go around and see. This is the first time making it, so there's imperfections that I don't want to see. So this looks like a good side. So I'm probably going to use this, and I can always bend this way, or at least try to, so that it stays sideways. I'll fix that later. So let's put this here. Now, it doesn't tell you where. Now, the last kit that I did with Jack Skellington, it told you what row to put this in on the body, or if you haven't seen that video, it tells you where to put the body parts, but we have to make it look like this. So they have it to where there's a little, it's gonna push up the hat a little bit. So let's flip this out like this. So maybe we do 1, 2 rows down or 3 rows down. We have to see what it looks like. Maybe 2 rows down. Or maybe 1. See, you can kind of put it in place and see what it'll look like. Yeah, I think the first one. This is gonna look so cute, you guys. I just, for the life of me, I can't. So let's flip this up. We're gonna sew it on the first row. So, and I probably put too much, but that's fine. You'd rather have more than none, or run out, Okay, so I'm going to declare this my middle. So go in and out here. You can sew this on any way you want to. The point is just to make it secure. especially if you intend on washing. So I'm just in and out, and then I'm just gonna weave this in and out of the nose and go around. And I'm sorry, that's all that I can say about that because I'm not a sewer, but I'm sure a lot of us aren't. So just be patient and hope for the best. That's all I do. Especially if it's something that I'm not good at or know. So, see. And it's a good thing that we're doing the nose first, because this sets the tone anyway. When we add in the other stuff, it'll be symmetrical, because this is our center. So that's the good thing about this. Okay, so just continue weaving this in and out of your nose. Oh, sorry. And try not to get fiber fill because it'll come out, and especially the body is such a dark color, you'll be able to see it. So I might just time lapse this from here so that we're not watching me struggle for a long time. And so you can either pause or whatever you want to do, but I think I'm going to time lapse this. So I'm back around. I don't know how to tie a knot sewing, but this is what I do. So we have our loop here. So before you pull it all the way through, what I'm gonna do is stick my needle through the loop twice, so it wraps around like that. And then I'm gonna make sure everything is nice and taut. Don't pull too tight. And then I'm just going to tighten up this wannabe knot that I'm trying to do here. Oh. And you just want to pull it to where it eventually tightens in on itself. Okay, so when it becomes tight to where you can't make it any tighter, I'm going to leave like maybe an inch and a half or two, cut it, and then I'm going to come back in with my hook here. Oh, I'm a lefty, sorry, I almost did that with my lefty. Okay, so stick your hook just under the surface of your body. Try not to get any fiber fill, but move it towards this excess piece. So just under the surface, you can kind of see the hook move up through the stitching. You want to pop back up right next to this excess piece, so right here. What we're going to do is you're going to hook it, and we're going to drag this inside the body. So you'll have to twist to the side, and as you pull it, you want to kind of fish it out. So pull it just under the surface. Again, try not to snag the fiber fill inside or the stuffing, but you want this end piece to disappear like that. Now you can do one of two things. If you can pull this out without pulling fiber fill, then that's great. But if you see fiber fill in there, oh no, I just realized we have a rubber stopper. We can't. Never mind. Again, I said in the last video, I just have the metal one so I can slip it through. But we can't do that because this is the needle, the hook they give you. So, you see how I snagged the fiber? You just want to keep twisting and pulling ever which way to kind of get rid of the stuffing. If you have to, see, it seems like it's really tangled back there, so I'm going to kind of go in with my nail and just slide it off the hook. You can maybe stick it in back in there with your hook, but you just want that gone so that you don't see it. And so here's our nose. We can put our hat back down. Oh my gosh, you guys. And it's gonna automatically do that little thing. Oh my god. How cute. There's the nose. We have the hat in the nose. Side profile. Okay. Now, set aside your project. We're going to move on to the next part. I hope I ate up a good amount of time, so hopefully we'll go smooth sailing because I already showed you 3 different stitches, including the slip stitch and the chain. No, wait, chain, single crochet, increase, decrease, and slip stitch. We already learned 5 different stitches in this video. Okay, set this aside. Let's see. We're gonna have to do 2 gnome hands. Those are the little nubbies on the side here, and we're using purple yarn. So let's grab the purple yarn. This is how much left I have of the purple yarn, so it should be enough, but we'll see. Sometimes these kits don't give you enough of what you need, but we're going to do the magic ring again. So let's go and twist 2 times, cover over the yarn with your middle finger, stick your hook underneath the 3, pull this under these 2, and then we're going to yarn over and close off the magic ring, and we're going to slip this off. Okay, then I'm going to grab some yarn, and this is almost a mess, so we're going to struggle because usually when you get to the end of your yarn it no longer is pulling nice. Okay, now we're going to chain 1. Okay, we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we're going to close the magic ring, and just as I showed you before, pinch the bottom end here, not too tight, because we're going to pull this piece. We're going to watch if the front loop or the back loop goes in first. So pull it, and then in my case, again, the back loop. For you it might be the front loop, just whichever one moved. You want to pull out the lower end, and pulling out the lower end pulls in the other loop, and you want to do that until that disappears. So keep pulling it, and you see it's going, and then once it hits a stopping point, don't pull too hard. We're going to take the excess piece and pull that so that now my back loop will disappear, or your front loop, whichever one. So pull that until you can't pull it anymore, but don't pull it too tight. Gather up some yarn here. We're going to count back 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the chain stitch we did. Stick your hook into the 4th stitch. Okay, then we're going to do a slip stitch, and then we're going to mark off our last stitch. And look how tiny this round is. Oh, I hate working with tiny stuff when crocheting or knitting. Alright, so round 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do 4 increasing stitches, a slip stitch, and end up with 8 stitches. So let's chain 1, and then let's do 4 increasing stitches. One, two, three, and then the last one. Four, remove the marker. Now we're going to count back 8 and do a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is the chain stitch. Stick your hook into the 8th stitch and do a slip stitch. Then we're going to mark off our last stitch. Okay. So now for row 3, we're going to chain 1 and do 8 single crochet stitches. Change black color and do a slip stitch. 8. We'll end up with 8. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Let me see. Let me just look back. Okay, I'll show you how we change the color. So chain 1, and then we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, 7, and 8. Okay, so before we do a slip stitch, we're going to change to black. So what I want you guys to do, pull this hook out and pull a huge loop so you don't lose the stitch, especially since the yarn is so tangly towards the end. Always not a good time. Okay, so set this aside. We're gonna grab the black yarn here, and I've already pulled this out of the center, but I'm going to show you how to cast on to your hook. So take some yarn here. We're going to take our ring and pinky and thumb and just hold the end like this. Then we're going to take our index and middle finger and hold it apart like this. Then we're going to take our hook, lie it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to make a loop. So let me show you one more time. Perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to make a loop. So now I'm going to take my middle finger and hold it in place so that I can let go with the left hand. I'm going to gather up some yarn here. I'm going to pinch the end, and you want to slide the hook down towards your thumb. So slide it down. Now right where it crosses, you're going to want to pinch. Oops, and it came undone. So try to pinch where it crosses so that the hook can't move. Now we're going to do a yarn over, and we're going to pull through the loop. and that is how you cast on, but we're not done yet. So I'm going to overhand my hook. So this, I normally underhand. If you choose to do overhand, you don't have to obviously move your hand anymore, but pinch the end of the yarn. We're going to take our thumb and our index and slide the knot towards your other thumb, and you're going to slide it down till the knot becomes tight enough to where you can't slide it down anymore, or your thumb is in the way and you can't slide it down anymore. So once you hit that point, you're going to take your thumb and middle finger and you're going to pull out that excess piece just enough to make it nice and snug. Okay, now what we're going to do, take the thumb and the index finger, we're going to slide the knot towards the hook. So grab the knot and let's slide it towards the hook. Not too tight, you want to leave a decent amount of room here because we're going to slide this off the hook and set it aside for now. I'm going to go back into my project and I'm going to put the hook back in the loop. I'm going to pull and tighten it up just a little bit, leaving some room as well. Now we're going to count back 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and here's the chain stitch. We're going to stick it into the 8th stitch. Oh, not yet, sorry. Oh no, yeah, stick it to the 8th stitch. When you do it slower, it kind of gets confusing. Okay, now rather than yarn over with this like we would normally do it, you want to put this black loop onto your hook, gather up some yarn with the black yarn, and try to keep this purple one off to the side so you don't confuse it. But we're going to pull the black yarn through all the loops to do a slip stitch. So pull that through like that. I'm going to remove the marker. Okay, and we're going to mark the last stitch that we made doing the slip stitch. Okay, so now we can move on to rounds 4 through 8, which is 8 single crochet stitches, a slip stitch, and end up with 8. And that's pretty much the end of the hand. So this is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is how we count so that we don't lose track of our stitching. So if you want, like I said, it's curling in, so you can invert it. I'm going to wait till I do the 4th round before I invert it. So 8 single crochet stitches, chain 1, and do 8 single crochet stitches. And you don't have to count, you can count at the end so you don't double count. When it's small like this, double counting is not really necessary. When you get the larger number rounds, you know, if it's more than 8, it's up to you though. You can there's nothing wrong with double counting. It's just my voice on the video. It's already late and I can hear the crackle in my voice like I'm a witch. Okay. Right, and when you're counting, you leave the marker in. So now I'm going to count 8 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this one is the chain stitch, so stick it into the 8th stitch and do a slip stitch. I'm going to take one of these markers and mark off that. Now I'm going to invert this now. I just wanted to secure the color change because it was kind of loose there, and I like everything to be nice and tight. So just invert this like that, flip it inside out. And so now what we're gonna do, I mean, this is a small piece, but I'm gonna cut off about like an inch of the purple. And normally I would tie it around the next color to keep it from getting loose, but because this was so since this was so close to the beginning, I'm just going to tie it with the excess piece from the very beginning, and that works very well in our favor, because then we don't have to tie it around the black. But I do it twice, and once that's kind of snug, it doesn't have to be tight. I'm just going to cut these pieces down shorter so that I can stuff this in there and it's not like a huge wad. Okay, so now we can kind of put away our purple. I'm going to gather up some yarn and we're just going to finish off the rest, and we'll do it in silence to rest my voice a little bit. Okay, so we finished rounds 4 through 8, did the slip stitch, and all you have to do is fasten off and leave a 4-inch long tail, and we're going to sew the hands to the body. So let's remove this because I do have my little mat under here. I'm going to measure out 4 inches. If you have one of these, this is great. I actually got this from the Dollar Tree, but they have it at the craft stores. I used to buy the very large ones when I was doing architecture back in college. Okay, then we're going to fasten this off. So yarn over and pull through pull through all the way out. I'm going to tighten this up, and we're going to remove all the markers. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so we have our hand, and we're going to sew this onto the body. So let's remove this, and let's thread this on here. Okay, then we're going to take our little witch. Let's put the instructions back on our working station. I want to see where they have it. So off to the side. I don't know. I guess here's like a little knot, so let's just want it off to the side, but not too far out, maybe. I hate when they don't tell you where. But maybe like this. Let's count, because we want to make it symmetrical. So 3, 6, 9. Why don't we put this here? 3, 6, 9, 10. Let's count 10, right? I don't know, just pull a number out of the sky. Flatten this down. Does it say to stuff? No. So, I mean, you could if you wanted to. Maybe I'll, you know what? It didn't say, but I'm going to put a little ball at the end here. Okay, so grab a wad and split it in half. That way you know that the other hand is going to have the same amount of stuffing. And I'm just going to put this in all the way to the bottom, because I want like there to be a little flare when the I want it to do what this thing did, and putting some, well, not really, I just want it to be 3D, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm going to shove this all the way down at the hand. Okay, then I'm just going to squish it off to the side like that, and I'm going to sew it flat against here. But let's count 10. So 3, 6, 9, 10. Let's start this way. Okay, so we are just going to put this around the stitch like that. Okay, and then we're going to weave it. Make sure you go through both. So here's one stitch, here's another stitch. Okay, and then like I said, I don't know how to tie knots, so I'm just going to try to put it the needle through this loop twice. Now it's getting a little smaller, maybe more than 4 inches would have been better. Okay, twice, and then just pull it till you can't pull it anymore. I'm going to cut about 1 inch, and then I'm going to take the hook, just slide it just under the surface up to where that excess piece is, yarn over, and we're going to pull it through the body, and then you can stick your, get your hook back out, and we're going to flip this down again. So now we have our little hand, and because we put some stuffing in there, it's got some 3D kind of, so that it's not flat. I'm going to do the other arm off camera, so you can rewind this and rewatch it, but we're going to come back in and then we're going to do the beard. Okay, so I put on both hands, so we got that done. It's starting to look like a cute little gnome. Set this aside, we're going to work on the beard. So I have my orange yarn here. I'm going to try to see if I can pull out the center like I did with the other. It looks like this might be good. Let me just test it out and pull it out. Nope. But I think I'm going to pull that in anyway because this side is very messy. So again, like, oh, we happen to have the end. Like I said, sometimes you'll pull in a lot, but you'll end up using it anyway, so it just keeps it from rolling around. And this is actually a heavier skein, so, well, not too heavy, but I was able to pull it before and not having it move. There we go. And if it does, you can just apply a little pressure, but it doesn't roll around. But let's move on to the beard. So that's what it's called, a slip knot. We have to do 4 of these. So the way that I'm going to film, I'm going to do one of these, one of the short beards, and then off camera I'm going to do the rest. Okay. So to do the slip knot, I didn't give it a name before because honestly I forgot that it was called a slip knot. Pinky and ring finger and thumb hold the end. Index and middle finger hold apart the yarn. We're gonna put the hook perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around. Hold it with this middle finger here, right where it crosses. You can let go of the left hand. We're going to gather up some yarn here. We're going to slide the hook towards the thumb. Slide it down. Once we get towards the thumb, you want to now pinch where it crosses. So pinch where it crosses. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through the loop. I'm going to overhand my hook and I'm going to pinch the end here, and with this thumb and index we're going to push the knot towards the other thumb until you can't push any further. Okay, once you hit a stopping point, you can then grab the end and pull that out a little bit just to tighten up the knot just a little bit. Now I'm going to slide the knot with my index and my thumb towards the hook. So slide it up towards the hook, but you want to leave some, oh no, we're not changing colors. Just slide it on and leave a space. We're going to do the first round. So let me gather up some yarn here. We have to do 18 chains. Okay. Alright, so I like to hold my knots right here just so it's sturdy, but I hold it with my thumb and middle finger, right? So that way I have some tension on there. I'm going to do a chain. So yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop. So I've done 3 with you. I'm just going to do 15 more. So I'm going to do this in silence and then count back to make sure we have 18 stitches. Okay, so let me just count back to see if I have 18. So 3, 5, 10, 15, 18. Okay, so now that we have 18, we're going to do round 2. Starting at 3rd chain from hook, we're going to do a half double crochet stitch, a half double crochet increasing stitch 7 times, and then a 2 half double crochet stitch. And I think when they have it this way, oh no, 2 half, okay, never mind, strike that. Let's see, and there's illustrations here, but let me show you. Ooh, we're gonna have to curl this. Okay, so from the hook, we're gonna start from the 3rd chain. Oh, let me tell you something. So you see how you have this nice pretty braid? When I was learning, when you do this, you for just indicating purposes, this isn't official, I'm just giving a name for these. Left side, right side. Now, when I was learning, when you do that, you put your hook on the left side, the left loop, and then you just keep on using the left loop, or if you hold it this way, it would be top loop, bottom loop. But it kind of messes up your braid, and I like keeping it like this. It looks really pretty. So what I do is flip this upside down. Do you see how it looks now? There's these little humps in the middle. I put the hook in those humps instead. So let me do a side profile of this chain, and you see those little humps back there? Those are the ones that I stick my hook in, and I do that because then the braid doesn't get messed up. So from the 3rd chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, you would normally put your hook on the top loop like this. I'm not going to do that. You can go ahead and do that, and the book will probably show you to do that, but I like to keep my edging nice and pretty, so I'm just going to use the back loop. So you can count the same. 1, 2, 3. So you put your hook into this loop here. So let's do that. Oh, before you do that, let's establish what a half double crochet stitch is. So to do that, you want to yarn over as the first step. Then you're going to stick your hook into the 3rd chain from the hook, and I'm putting it in that back loop like that. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet stitch. So we're going to do a half double increasing stitch now, and a half double increasing stitch is the same as doing a single crochet increasing stitch. Let me see where I can see that. They just have it as increasing stitch. Okay, and then if you want, you can go to a couple sheets back. You can find the abbreviation just to make sure, because I just want to make sure as well. But I think it just tells you, because let's go with increasing stitch. Yeah, it's just the same stitch. They don't have half double crochet stitch, it's just increasing. So this half double crochet stitch increasing stitch is just telling you that's the type of stitch we're increasing. Okay, so into the next stitch, I'm using the back loop. Oh, yarn over, into the next stitch, back loop, stick your hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all loops. Now we're going to use the same stitch, so yarn over, into that same stitch, put your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So we did our increasing half double crochet stitch. So now we're gonna repeat this 6 more times. Yarn over, into the next stitch, back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to do the increasing, the half double crochet stitch increasing. So yarn over, into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all loops, yarn over, into that same stitch now, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So now we just have to repeat this 5 more times. So yarn over, into the next loop, into the next stitch, back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do a half double crochet increasing stitch, into the next hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, then yarn over, stick into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So now we just have to repeat this 4 more times, and I'll do this in silence. Okay, then we have to do 2 half double crochet stitches. One and 2. Okay. Now we did 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this step 5 is curl up the fabric to complete the beard. Follow these steps to make 4 beards. Okay, it didn't say fasten off though. I'm all about very detailed instructions, and it didn't say that, but it said curl this, so we're curling it. You can put a clip so that it can kind of get used to the shape and stay that way, but it doesn't say to fasten off. But you know what? It does look like there's a little string at the end. So I am going to cut some. And I'm guessing we have to sew but there's one. Again, I'm going to do the rest off frame, but for now I'm going to move on to the short beard. So I've shown you how to do this twice already. I'm going to show you how I do it real fast. Not real fast, but faster. Once you get accustomed to it, you'll feel more comfortable in doing it. So actually I don't even hold it that way. Terrible, right? But after you get used to it, you just do it the way that you're comfortable. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just not broken down. Okay, so for round 1, we're going to make a slip knot, which is what we did, and then we're going to do 16 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, then for round 2, we're going to starting third chain from hook, do a half double crochet stitch, a half double crochet increasing stitch 6 times, and then do 2 half double crochet stitches. So again, trying to maintain this braid. Oh, really quick, let's look at what happens when you do that. So I'm just going to unravel this. I know, don't do it to yours. I'm just going to show you. So here's the underside. We still have that nice braiding. I'm just stretching it. But if you flip on the side that we did, we also have the nice braiding on top. So we have it in the bottom and we have it on top. And it works in this case because the beard is exposed and you can see both the top and the bottom of the beard. So it looks like it has really nice edging on both sides. So that's why I do it this way. If you look closely, there's only braiding on one side, and on the other there's only a loop. It's missing half of the braid. Okay. So now, yarn over, third chain from hook, 1, 2, 3, using the back loop, stick your hook in there, and make sure you get all of it. This yarn isn't that great. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, then we're going to do the half double increasing, which is 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. So 1, 2. Okay, so now we just have to repeat this 5 more times. We're going to do our half double crochet stitch, we're going to do our half double crochet increasing stitch, two. So now we just have to repeat this 4 more times. So half double crochet stitch, and then half double crochet increasing stitch, okay. So now, just in silence, I'm going to do this 3 more times. Okay. Okay, then we're going to do 2 half double crochet stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut and just in case, so to fasten off, you just yarn over and pull that all the way through, and we're going to pull to make it a little tight there, but again, braid on this side, braid on this side, and then we're just going to twist the beard So now we have our long and short. I mean, short's not really short compared to the long. But anyway, alright. So I'm going to set these aside And again, I'm going to do these off camera and we're going to sew them on together. Okay, so I've completed 2 short beards and 4 long beards. And we have to sew the short beard on both sides of the nose, then sew along the long beard next to the short beard as shown in picture. Alright, well, not the best, but I'll figure it out. So we're going to be sewing the short ones first. I'm going to take my needle and we're going to thread this. Okay. Both sides of nose. Alright, so let's just start here. I guess if we're going to have 3 on each side, what we could do is we can do 1, 2, 3, you know. So let's do that. Let's get in this row and sew up the beard. I guess I'll sew it in there twice. I'm going to do one of those things where we put it into the loop twice. If you have a better way to do it, by all means. I'm just really trying to figure it out as I go. And one tip you can do, rather than use the hook, stick this right through the nose, have it pop back up, well, you know what, I'm having a hard time, so don't do it that way. I thought I can sew it through, but didn't seem like a great idea. I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to put it just underneath the surface and have it come up right next to the excess piece, and we're going to drag this down into the project. And it's a long piece, so you can probably cut it off. Okay, then I'm just going to take a long one, thread it up, I'm going to stick this on the next row up. Go around twice. and then do this round twice thing. Last one on this side. And then we're going to use the last row here. Now the other side. It's the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do the 3 rows off camera. We have the short and the 2 long. I'll come back in once I'm done sewing this. So here is the gnome with the beard all sewn up. Look how cute it is already. We are not done. We have to do a buckle and we have to make the broom. So setting this aside, let's check out what the next course of action is. Alright, so we're going to get our yellow yarn out. this, and I'm curious if I can get the yellow from the inside. But while that's happening, I'm going to look at the instructions. So for the gnome belt, we have to do slip knot and then 10 chains and a slip stitch. So we're not doing any magic rings, we're just going to do a slip knot. So let me just grab some yarn here. I managed to find the inside of that one right here. Okay, so this won't be rolling around everywhere, but I've shown you how to do the slip knot a bunch of times. I'm just gonna quickly do this. Okay, so we're going to make 10 chains and then do a slip stitch. We're making a ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're going to go to the other end here, and like I said, I like to use the back loops. So let's go to the last stitch, and we're going to put our hook into that back loop, and then we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay, so now we have a ring. Okay. For round 2, we're working into back loop only. We're going to do a chain, single crochet, 3 single crochet in the same stitch, single crochet, 3 single crochet in the same stitch, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet in the same stitch, single crochet, 3 single crochet in the same stitch, and then single crochet. Okay, so let's chain 1. And then we're going to do a single crochet stitch, so working back loops. So that will be if you see this braid here, this would be the front, this would be the back. So you just stick your hook into the back. We're going to do a single crochet stitch. So there you go. Now we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches in the same stitch. So put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch. Then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches in same stitch. One, 2, 3. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 1, 2. Then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches in same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch. 1. Then we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so then we're going to do a slip stitch. Let's see. 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. So slip stitch here. Okay, so now we have a little rectangle. So we have to sew this to the hat, so I'm gonna grab a decent amount so that I can sew all the way around. Grab my needle here. Oh, that might have been the brightest. Let me fasten this off first. I forgot to do that. So I'm just going to pull this out off the hook. I'm going to take the opportunity to stick this needle through the loop. And I'm going to pull that till I can tighten it. Okay, now I can sew this on. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to do the gnome broom. So, I'll set this aside, put away my yellow yarn, and we're going to have to go grab the beige yarn. And this is, it looks like it's going to be tiny, so this is going to be a little painstaking. But I have my beige yarn. And we're going to do a magic ring, chain 1, 5 single crochet stitches, slip stitch, end up with 5 stitches at the end. So we've done these in this video. I'm just going to go ahead and start my magic ring. Actually, no, we haven't. I think we just came back and did the... No, we did the nose. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're going to chain 1, then we're going to do 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm going to tighten up the ring. Then we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to mark this off. Okay. Now for round 2 through 8, we have to chain 1, 5 single crochet stitches, a slip stitch, and end up with 5 stitches. So if this is 2, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so chain 1 and 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remove the marker and then do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I don't know why I removed it. It's so automatic. Okay, so this is technically 3 now, so I'm just going to remove one of these because we'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm going to do this in silence now. Okay. Oh, I didn't read ahead. Round 9, we're going to change to, oh no. Okay, good. Then I have time. So, for round 9, we're going to chain 1. We're going to do 5 single crochet stitches. Before we do the slip stitch, we're going to switch to the brown color. This is crazy. They want us to stuff enough with filling. All the way at round, you know. How's that going to work? It looks like this is supposed to be backwards. Right? They switched this. Oh my god. Well, I'm just going to keep it this way. Beige yarn, beige yarn. Okay. So let's do round 9. We're just going to chain 1 and do 5 single crochet stitches. So, chain 1 and do 5 single crochet stitches. So before we slip stitch this, you can pull this out. So we can use this. Maybe that's why they give you 2, I think they give you 2 hooks. I'm going to grab my brown. Okay. So I'm just gonna cast on a chain. Okay. Now I'm gonna slip this off the hook. Come back in with our project, put the hook back in here, and then we're going to tighten up this loop. Okay. Then we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stick your hook into the 5th stitch. Now before we do our slip stitch, I'm just gonna slip on the brown. And continue the slip stitch. And then I'm going to mark it off. Now we won't be using the beige again, so I'm going to cut this off. And then I'm going to tie it around the brown to keep it from unraveling. Then you can actually stick this piece in here. So now what we're going to do is round 10. We have to chain 1 and do 5 increasing stitches, and then a slip stitch, and end up with 10. So I'm going to chain 1 and then do 5 increasing stitches. Okay, then we're going to count back 10 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, then we're going to do a chain. And then 5 decreasing stitches, and then a slip stitch. So chain 1, 5 decreasing. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Move the marker. Count back 5 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now for round 12, we have to chain 1, 5 increasing stitch, slip stitch, and end up with 10 stitches. So chain 1, 5 increasing stitches. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Remove the marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now round 13, we're going to do chain 1, single crochet stitch, increasing stitch 5 times, do a slip stitch, and end with 15 stitches. So chain 1, Okay, we're going to do a single crochet stitch. We're going to do an increasing stitch. And we have to repeat this 4 more times. Single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, repeat this 3 more times. Single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, repeat this 2 more times. Single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, and then 1 more time, single crochet stitch and increasing stitch. Okay, remove the marker. I'm going to count back 15 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we're going to put our marker. And then we're going to go on to round 14. So we have chain 1 in parentheses. We're going to do 4 single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch 3 times, do a slip stitch, and end up with 18 stitches. So chain 1, we're going to do 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2, and we're going to repeat this 2 more times. 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. Then 1 more time, 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increasing stitch. 1, 2. Remove the marker. We're going to count back 18 and do a slip stitch. 5, 10, 15, 18. Mark it off. Okay. Then for round 15, we're going to do chain 1 and then 18 single crochet stitches. Let me gather up some yarn here. Chain 1, 18 single crochet stitches, remove the marker, count back 18 and do a slip stitch. 10, 15, 18, mark off your stitch. Okay, so now for round 16, we're going to chain 1, do 4 single crochet stitches, decreasing stitch 3 times, and then do a slip stitch, end up with 15 stitches. So chain 1, I'm going to do 4 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do a decreasing stitch. We're going to repeat this 2 more times, 4 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do a decreasing stitch, 1, 2. And then repeat this 1 more time, 4 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, decreasing stitch, 1, 2. Okay, remove the marker. We're going to count back 15 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Slip stitch. Then mark off your stitch. Then for round 17, we're going to chain 1, do 3 single crochet stitches, a decreasing stitch 3 times, slip stitch, and end up with 12 stitches. This looks like a plunger. Okay, chain 1, 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do a decreasing stitch, 1, 2, then repeat this 2 more times, 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a decreasing stitch, 1, 2. We're going to repeat this 1 more time, 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a decreasing stitch, 1, 2. Remove the marker. We're going to count back 12 and do a slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So now we have to stuff enough with filling. So grab your fluff. I'm going to slowly fill this. So now we're gonna do round 18. We're gonna chain 1, do 2 single crochet stitches, decreasing stitch, repeat 3 times, slipped stitch, and end up with 9 stitches. So this is where let me redo this marker. I don't like where it's at. I'm going to chain 1, then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, we're going to do a decreasing stitch, 1, 2, we're going to repeat this 2 more times, 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, then we're going to do a decreasing stitch, 1, 2, then we're going to repeat this 1 more time, 2 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, then we're going to do a decreasing stitch, 1, 2, right, remove the marker, then we're going to count back 9 and do a slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, slip stitch, and then mark your last stitch. Then we're going to move to round 19, which is single crochet stitch, decreasing stitch 3 times into a slip stitch, and end up with 6 stitches. So chain 1, single crochet stitch, decreasing stitch, repeat this 2 more times, single crochet stitch, decreasing stitch, repeat this 1 more time, single crochet stitch, and decreasing stitch. Okay, remove the marker, and then count back 6 and do a slip stitch, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, put your marker here. Then for the last round we have to do chain 1, 3 decreasing stitches, slip stitch, and end up with 3. So chain 1, decreasing stitch, repeat this 2 more times, decreasing stitch, okay, repeat this 1 last time, decreasing stitch. Okay, remove the marker. I'm going to count back 3 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. This is very tiny, so I'm trying to find the loops. Okay. And then you have to fasten off. Yeah, we're done with this, so I'm going to fasten this off. Okay, tighten this up. I'm gonna go just under the surface, find my way to that excess piece, and then drag this down into the project. That worked out. Okay, then you can always like reshape this, but now it says here we have to wrap brown thread around the broom, which is insane because you see that this made me the broom stick. Then this actually helped me make the broom, so I think they didn't mean to say that, but at the same time I have used a wooden broom like this, and I've seen ones with darker bristles, light wood handle, so I think that's just a detail. You can, you know, decide for yourself how you like it. This is a long project, so I'm just ready to call it quits, but it says to wrap around the brown yarn. In my case, I'm going to do the beige yarn. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie this up 2 times. Okay, cut this off here. So what I'm going to do is kind of go through this, and I'm gonna take my hook and kind of drag it, weave it into the yarn here like that. Okay, so that's that, and this is just going to be a free roaming piece. But let's, did they show a picture of all these at the end of it? They really don't. Wish they had like one picture that showed all 3 together. Like it shows this guy. I guess that is the end. Guess the broom is just chilling. Alright, well, let's just leave this here. Let's pull out our project. This is our happy little witch gnome, or warlock, I don't know. It's so cute, oh my gosh. And then this is the little broom that it uses. But see, this sucker is really big. It's, you know, larger than a softball, I'll tell you that. So this is definitely a nice gift or decor. So comment below, let me know what you think about this. The broom part was probably one out of maybe two things I found in the instructions that were off. But other than that, I think this kit is pretty cute. There's two other. There's the candy corn and the skull. Yeah, comment below. Let me know if you have this kit, if you're gonna get this kit, and if you've tried it, because I would love to see how you fared with it and love to see your end result. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.